It's all over. Despite being 4 points clear with 3 games to go, an embarrassing 2-0 defeat to Newcastle all but ended Arsenal's top 4 hopes. But where has it all fallen apart? And more importantly, what does the future hold next for Arsenal? Let's also find out what update Fabrizip Romano has on Gabriel Jesus. Could the Gunners make a move for Ilkay Gundogan? And what plans do the Arsenal owners have for the summer transfer window? Yo, what's going on guys? My name is Pavs14. Welcome back to your boy's channel, and yeah, it's been a painful 24 hours. I'm still actually trying to process most of it, but we're here to talk about all of the latest Arsenal news as always, so I had to provide that content for you guys. If you enjoy, smash a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, help your boy on his road to 90k. Unfortunately, there is only one place to start, and that is last night and the Champions League hopes being over. Arsenal were 4 points clear with 3 games to go, and it was all in our hands. We go to Spurs, we got battered 3-0, and that was embarrassing as that was. Newcastle away, a team that's 14th. Yes, they've got a tremendous home record, but they're 14th. Surely if Arsenal want to be in the big Champions League, you can beat 14th place Newcastle. Well, unfortunately, my friends, that was not the case. Not only did Arsenal lose the game 2-0, but to be quite honest, Arsenal were utterly battered for 90 minutes. And even Mikel after the game agrees by saying Newcastle were 10 times better than Arsenal. They deserved the victory. We could not cope tonight with the game that we had to play here. 10 times better when the Champions League is on the line and they had nothing to play for. That's pretty worrying. And even Xhaka after the game had some very interesting words. From the first minute until the 90th minute, we didn't deserve to be on the pitch today. I don't know why we were not doing what the coach is asking from us. If someone is not ready for this game, then stay at home. Mentality wise and physically, technically, all of the footballing ability disappeared and this Arsenal team collapsed. And this is what it means for Arsenal. They remain in 5th place going into the final game of the season. Spurs being 4th, 2 points clear and a far superior goal difference. Yeah, my friends, unfortunately it is over. And yes, not mathematically, and yeah, we could technically still get top 4, but what that requires is for fully relegated Norwich City to beat Tottenham Hotspur at home, and that then requires Arsenal to do their job, which is beating an Everton team fighting for their lives at the Emirates Stadium. Even though I am on my knees for a Timo Pukki masterclass, I just don't see it happening. And ultimately that means Arsenal have failed in the Champions League hopes. Despite being so close, Arsenal will be in the Europa League next season. And this kind of sums it all up in terms of the season. We lose our first 3 games in bottom place. We then go 8 games unbeaten, then lose 3 out of 4, then win 9 out of 11 games. We start April in 4th place, 6 points ahead of Spurs, but then lose 3 games in a row. Then go on to win 4 games, but then lose the last 2 games straight and need a final day miracle to finish 4th. But ultimately it came down to this. Arsenal needed just 1 win against Southampton, Brighton, Palace and Newcastle, but they went on to lose all of them. If we are to be brutally honest, I guess 5th place is a fair reflection of where this current Arsenal squad is. And that pains me to say that because of course I was believing, so many fans were believing, and this Arsenal team was showing us on a week in week out basis that 4th was a possibility and we were there. But to not get a single point out of those 3 games there, it just is embarrassing because that's where top 4 was lost. But to then win 4 games in a row and to retake the control and to only be 2 wins away from the Champions League even after getting embarrassed by Tottenham Hotspur. If you can't beat a 14th place Newcastle and hack the atmosphere of St James's Park, do you really think this Arsenal team is then able to go to Bayern Munich away, to Barcelona away, to Real Madrid away and compete in the Champions League? It looks like this Arsenal team is simply too inexperienced and just not ready just yet to make the Champions League step. And behind that there are quite a few factors. Well, let's start off with the main man. That's the Arsenal manager Mikel. He's got a brand new contract and he's going nowhere, so let's not ask about his future. But only because I back Mikel and I support him does not mean I think he's perfect. And in those 3 games against Brighton, Palace and Southampton, I think he cost Arsenal, being unable to adapt in the absence of Thomas Partey. And the fact that Arsenal still remain in mid-table in terms of big chances created, that has been a fundamental issue under Arteta's regime. Now granted that Arsenal don't have a Harry Kane or a Kevin De Bruyne, but surely the likes of Martin Odegaard Odegaard and Emil Smith-Rowe are good enough to create more big chances than the likes of Brighton and Crystal Palace. I think the issue with Arteta is, going forwards, the Arsenal attack at times can be far too rigid. Everything is too controlled and it is very disciplined. So I guess going into next season, we have to see Mikel Arteta be far more flexible, adaptable, and when the going gets tough and things are going against you, you have to have an able and ready plan B. This has been a collective collapse, and collectively the team has the whole responsibility. Now yes, I can sit here and blame Cedric Suarez, Rob Holding, but these are players that us fans understand aren't good enough. But I think it's time that we also have a conversation about our fan favourites. Aaron Ramsdale on goal has proven so many fans wrong, but in the second half of the season, not only could he question his shot stopping, but also in terms of playing at the back, Ramsdale seems to have lost all confidence, and that is not what you want to see. And going into the attacking line, even the likes of Martin Odegaard, another fan's favourite, yes, he's had majestic moments and on his day he is world class, but yesterday against Newcastle and in many away games, the player was almost missing. But when it comes to away games, you have to be able to win your 50-50 duels. When it comes to duel winning and keeping the ball and being technically secure, Martin Odegaard has failed. But on top of that, even the likes of Emil Smith-Rowe and Bukayo Saka, yes, they're our star boys and I love them to death. Smith-Rowe was outstanding in the first half of the season and his goals kept Arsenal in the top 4 race. But in the second half of the season, whether it's down to injuries or a lack of form, Emil Smith-Rowe has been nowhere near his best, and that has also played a part to why Arsenal were poor. And in terms of Bukayo Saka, he is the ultimate star boy, but he looks like a very tired player. It looks like he's playing on his feet and has no energy whatsoever to play at his best. With inexperienced players, you have your moments of brilliance and they will show their talent, but when the going gets tough and they need to be just a bit more composed and to calm down, unfortunately young teams always seem to fall apart. Even though missing out of the Champions League is going to be painful, we cannot let 2 points dictate our entire future, and we have to now look forward to the future. But where exactly do Arsenal now go from here? Well, here's a fantastic thread from LT Arsenal which breaks it down pretty well. He says, as per the 2020 article from The Athletic, technical director Edu Gaspar believed that Arsenal would be truly competitive only from the 2022-23 season, once the natural churn has taken place. Well, that 2022-23 season is now next season, and that natural churn has taken place. So many key players from previous regimes, your Aubameyangs, Ozils, and even now Lacazette, those players have left Arsenal or are leaving Arsenal, and Arsenal have a brand new team in place. And I'd argue in terms of Arsenal's fully fit starting 11, when they are fit and available, I fancy them as one of the best teams in the league, but unfortunately where Arsenal get let down is the overall squad depth. As LT Arsenal points out, Tierney and Partey are fantastic and we love them, but they are unreliable in terms of availability. Ensuring that Arsenal sign quality players that can play and compete in their absence is essential. Yes, Thomas Partey and Kieran Tierney are integral parts of this Arsenal team, but in their absence, Nuno Tavares and Mo Elneny aren't at that same level. Arsenal need to add quality and depth, and not just young players for the sake of it, but also some experienced players. Arsenal will sign players and spend a massive amount of money, but unlike 18-19 where Arsenal finished 5th and lost the Europa League final, the difference is this time, as LT Arsenal points out, Arsenal now have foundations, but we have to now be decisive, ruthless, and not come out of this next window facing any regrets. Missing out of the Champions League might be painful, but let's not act like our team is completely awful. And this exciting project that Arteta has at Arsenal and these young players that we have, they are only going to get better with age and experience. But with that massive window coming up, as LT Arsenal says, Arteta will be under a lot more pressure next season. It is now or never. Anything less than top 4, and I don't even see his staunchest proponents sticking by him. He'll be entering his 3rd year as the Arsenal manager, having so much money spent on him. But how much money are Arsenal going to have to spend? Well, according to Sam Dean of The Telegraph, Arsenal not qualifying for the Champions League will not prevent the club from investing heavily this summer window. The club see the upcoming transfer window as a major opportunity to improve the squad and have planned accordingly, irrespective of 4th or not. The truth is, the Arsenal owners are still backing Mikel Arteta. Stan and Josh Kroenke will still give Mikel Arteta a massive amount of money. So on paper, if Arsenal do get that required depth and quality and sign the right quality of players, then quite honestly next year Mikel Arteta has no excuses whatsoever. Champions League qualification should be a foregone conclusion, and on top of that, Arsenal should be a more competitive team, as Edu Gaspar said back in 2020. But as things stands, unfortunately my friends, next year is going to be that Europa League anthem we're going to be hearing at the Emirates. But with that now being the case, what are your thoughts going into the future? What are your thoughts on the Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta? Do you still believe this Arsenal team are able to take the next step to evolve and to become the complete team going into next season? But looking into the future, what about the latest transfer news? With one game left of the season, the transfer window is soon approaching, and it is normally an exciting time for Arsenal fans, and Arsenal are being active pretty early, because as Fabrizip Romano confirms, Arsenal have reached full agreement with Sao Paulo to sign Brazilian winger Marquinhos. It's a done deal and is set to be signed. The contract until June 2027, and the fee will be around 3.5 million euros, and he also claims that Arsenal are preparing their opening bid for Gabriel Jesus. It's not a massive transfer, it's a player for the future. He's a player that I expect to leave on loan as soon as possible, and that 3.5 million euros fee will not affect Arsenal's main summer transfer targets. But according to Romano on his podcast, he says Arsenal are preparing their opening proposal for Jesus. They have had conversations with his agents. Not having Champions League football could be a factor, but Arsenal want to continue to push and to offer Jesus an important contract. Man City want 50 to 60 million euros. Jesus going to a team in the Europa League is a step down, so therefore if Arsenal want to acquire his services, they're going to have to pay a premium. And that's not towards Man City but more towards the player, because if you don't have the attraction of the Champions League, most often you have to give players massive contracts. But what you guys make of Gabriel Jesus, and if Arsenal don't have Champions League footy, do you think Arsenal can still attract him? But talking about Man City players, Ilkay Gundogan is set to leave Man City this summer transfer window. Now this is a top player who has had so much top level experience, and for a club like Arsenal with where they are in their project, he would be perfect. And therefore, according to Fabrizip Romano, Gundogan is tempted by many opportunities. Some clubs are already waiting for a decision and are exploring the situation, and those clubs include the likes of Barcelona, Arsenal and other Bundesliga sides. He's got a bagload of experience, he's a Champions League veteran, and entering the final year of his Man City contract, he also wouldn't be overly expensive. Entering the final years of his peak, will Ilkay Gundogan want to play for a Europa League team? And on to the final bit of transfer news. According to reports in Italy, Arsenal are one step away from signing Aaron Hickey. The agreement has been reached between Bologna and Arsenal, when Bologna CEO travelled to London last week. But then saying that according to Fabrizip Romano, Arsenal have had contacts with the agent of Aaron Hickey, but nothing more than that. Extremely comfortable on both feet and on both sides, can play as an inverted left back and an overlapping left back, and is the perfect age profile to back up the Kieran Tierney. This transfer makes a lot of sense, and I fully expect it to happen. But on top of Aaron Hickey, Gabriel Jesus and Marquinhos, if Arsenal are to play in the Europa League next season, who do you guys think should be Arsenal's main summer transfer targets? And finally, we have a quote from ex-Arsenal player Alan Smith, who says, "I don't think there's any reason to be too down. I think they will make signings this summer. The future is bright, as they say. A young team that is only going to get better." It's the cliche of the young Arsenal team, and many Arsenal fans at this point are sick and tired of hearing that. But the honest truth is, despite the lack of the Champions League, to be only 2 points off, to have closed the gap, to have gone up 3 places, factually speaking, Arsenal have improved from last season. Now, whether it was enough to get Arsenal fans on the side of the project and to get Arsenal fans excited, that's a different question. But what I am saying is, this might come across as delusional, but to myself, I'm still low-key optimistic going into the future. I see young players that will get better with experience, and that also goes similar to the manager, but also the fact that Arsenal are gonna have funds available regardless of the Champions League. If you have funds available and you spend them in the right direction, Arsenal are only gonna get better as a team. And if that is the case, then if it was not meant to be this year, then next year Arsenal should be back in the Champions League. But as they say, it's the hope that kills you as Arsenal fans. What are your own current thoughts on this young Arsenal team? And do you agree with Alan Smith in saying this future of this Arsenal team is still going to be very bright? But that is the video there, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed, and if you have, make sure to go down there to smash a like and to also subscribe if you are new. If you would like to follow your boy on all of the social medias, then the links will be down below in the description. But that was all of the latest Arsenal news today, and right now, pain, depression, anger, frustration, pointing fingers, but also hope. Hope that Norwich City can somehow, someway do us a favour and Arsenal do their job. It's not over, but unfortunately I think it is. We'll see what happens, so until then, take care of yourselves and in evidence.